sorry. It's too abstract for me. Could you be a little bit more for child understanding?
Earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are my separated energies. Get it?
Bumira na lugar. Bumira po na lugar.
So the Panchabhuta is the foundation of the Stula Sarira.
Yeah.
I'm inside of the Stula Sarira body, and I'm trying to perceive what's going on around me by touching and seeing. Now you say you're not really in contact with anything, but only the conscious experience.
No, I don't say we're not in contact with anything. I don't say that the world doesn't exist. What I'm saying, what we think is the world is actually our conscious experience of the world. It's a conscious construct that we've constructed, and we've forgotten that we did it. We've forgotten how we did it, and we've forgotten that we did it. And we think, oh, this world exists outside of myself. What we're seeing now, you're looking at me, or I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. So that, what you're seeing is something in your consciousness. Everything that you see is all in your consciousness. It's not separate from your consciousness at all. I don't say that the world doesn't exist. Krishna says it does. But our sense of reality of the world is something that we've actually constructed.
But you're not existing in me, you're existing outside. I just see you in me because I have eye facility.
Yes. Your sense of my reality exists in your consciousness. But I exist for myself.
Yes.
And my sense of your reality also exists in my consciousness. But you exist in yourself. You don't need me to be here to exist. It's not like when I walk out, you stop existing.
Right, so the whole thing is very abstract to me. Like Ajinta Veda Veda. I love your example of the sun. The sun is really incredible that without the sunshine, you cannot see the sun. And all the other aspects you mentioned, make it very much.
Srila Bhakti Rakshak actually does talk about sunrise. He put forward this one.
Yeah, I know.
He said we're idealists.
Subjective revolution.
Yeah.
Subjective evolution of consciousness.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Idealistic?
It's idealism. As against materialism. Materialism means matter is the prime reality, and consciousness is a byproduct of energy, of matter. And our understanding is that no, consciousness is the prime reality. Krishna's consciousness is your consciousness, and matter is produced from consciousness.
Yes. And that's the translation of idealism. I actually never understood the word idealism until now.
This is ground floor opportunity because there's going to be a big revolution.
Yes.
There's somebody called, what's his name? Leonardo Castro, I think.
Leonardo Castro, yeah, I know.
He's put forward, One is innocent, they're not spoiled completely, they're ready to come forward. Okay.
I didn't follow. Mathematically maybe envious.
No. Ishvara Dinekyu, Bhavisheshu, Visapshucha. Prema, mighty people, affection. So Madhyamadikari, for those who are envious, Upeksha, he neglects them. For Krishna, prema. For devotees, mighty friendship. For the innocent, Kripa, helping them to come forward. And for those who are envious, they're against. You understand something? You understand English? Yeah? Okay.
Spanish, Punjabi, Hindi, English also. How you are saying?
Next one. Right to that.
Dawkins, does he sympathize with impersonalism?
He's so crass, it's unbelievable. He's
So what?
Crass.
Cracked.
Crass. Oh, cracked also. He's the epitome of envy, aggressiveness, foolishness, incoherence. He just walks around with his foot in his mouth, shooting the other way.
It's a nice description. The best one I've heard so far.
That man, he's the supreme personality of foolishness. His book, The Selfish Gene, in 2017, it was voted the most influential scientific book of all. Origin of Species in 2015, that was voted the most influential scientific book. But Dawkins topped Darwin in 2017. And that is the state of human society.
The selfish gene.
Yeah. So love for them is just, it's a chemical play. It's the genes fighting for their survival, making people come together and have kids. So gross. The real aim and purpose of human life is seeking truth and reality. And his idea is that the whole basis of life is just competition for material resources. And especially he's fueled communism, fascism, Nazism. 100 million people have been killed directly by these regimes, just directly, not just as a
Just by the
result of-
COVID injection.
Yeah, saying
That's based on the same principle.
eugenics, yes.
Yeah, the eugenic. Who was the founder of eugenics? The guy, Charles Darwin's nephew.
Something. The last but one sentence in Origin of Species says something about, it's amazing to think that from famine, war, and death can come such a beautiful thing as the appearance of higher species. Joseph Stalin read that when he was in a priest's training school. He was so impressed that he left the school, became an atheist, and he managed huge famine in Russia and Ukraine, killing millions and millions and millions of people. This directly so-called competition for resources, survival of the fittest, is the basis philosophy. Darwin, instead of animals becoming human beings, Darwinism makes animals out of human beings. Devolve, just struggling for resources.
So then according to Dawkins, animal and human being has absolutely no difference.
Yeah, like that. But the thing is that we've appeared by natural selection. So Dawkins has also appeared by natural selection. So his theory of the selfish gene has also been produced by by natural selection. It's got no truth in it at all. It's self-defeating doctrine. Materialism is self-defeating. And
Yuval Harari is the current top philosopher of that thinking. No? Have you read him? Or heard about him?
Yeah, why do we need so many human beings?
Yeah.
Why do we need so many human Harari?
Why do we need one?
He literally said, we've got so many human beings, what are we going to do? Well, keep them occupied with drugs and video games, probably. They have no idea at all. They're anti-human, and they're anti-human. They've got no idea of the purpose of life.
But they make it to be the top leadership influencer of today.
Yeah, it's Kali Yuga.
It's really Kali Yuga. No?
So we need a revolution. Intellectual, emotional, spiritual.
What would be our publication which unifies this way of thinking?
Vedic post-materialism.
Have you written something?
So much. So much.
So much. But something concrete to touch upon?
Yes, concrete. Concrete. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Concrete.
We like to get the hands on the books.
Okay. It's in digital form at the moment.
What's it called?
I've got the program is Leaders of Well-Being.
What?
Leaders of Well-Being. The first part is well-being in spirit love. That proves the Vedic version and disproves materialism. Second part is well-being in spirit synergy. That's like one ocean. The third part is well-being in spiritual wholeness, which is spiritual wholeness.
Holiness?
Wholeness. WHOLENESS, which is spirit-based personal development.
That's where you go beyond Mayavadi.
Yeah, from the beginning, going beyond my life.
In spiritual world, it says that there is no wholeness. Like Srila Prabhupada's today's quote is, if one is swimming on the sea and he can swim forever, ever, he will never find the soul. He will, means continuously he can enjoy on the sea. So like that, in the spiritual world, there is no end. One can go extreme, and we will enjoy happiness, pure happiness. So, how we will relate to manage.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Srimati Radhika's love is perfect, it's complete, but still it's expanding. So both of them. Perfection is there, but perfection is always increasing, always expanding.
Yes, this material world is also increasing, according to the scientists.
Yeah. Big Bang. Laws of nature come from nothing. How's that? It doesn't make sense. It's gobbledygook. It's mathematical mythology. First it appeared, then it expanded faster than the speed of light, just to make their equations fit together. It's all foolish. Laws existing in consciousness.
Are you following astronomy things of today and what they're coming up, all the new ideas?
I see time from time that James Webb telescope, they're making amazing discoveries. You keep on saying it's destroying physics, yada, yada, yada. But I'm not really closely following. You're following?
No, it's all too much.
We need younger brains that it's not too much for. But we
I like the graphics.
Yeah, that's how they brainwash you. You look at the graphics and then messages are going in, big bang, big bang.
No, that doesn't go in, I just like the graphics. But black hole theories, they are they're taking us in another dimension. At least they recognize there's so much we don't know.
Yeah. But they think in principle we can know materially. Well, what drives science? Matter?
No spirit.
If they, yeah, but they say there's no such thing as a supernatural. So we challenge them, what is driving spirit? If matter is driving spirit, and it's all just material interactions, then it's all meaningless. So you have to. Science, objective science, can't look at itself, can't look at behind. The whole procedure, the whole understanding, everything is totally flawed. Start to finish. Up to bottom, side to side, everything. Totally. It starts off with this misconception that matter is the prime reality and consciousness is a byproduct of matter. It's false because we do things that matter can't do, and it doesn't make sense. So the whole thing is false and it doesn't make sense. And to unpick it and like put all bits together again in a way that does make sense, we can only do that from the Vedic perspective.
The amount of falsity which is floating around in this whole modern management of the world by universities, what to speak of politicians, etc. It really gives one a sense of hopelessness. How do we deal with this from the point of view of chanting our mantras and our inner aspirations?
If you have a big room that's totally dark, it's been totally dark for 1,000 years, what are you going to do? Light a candle. Even if it's been dark, it's totally dark. Once you light a light, then you can see. So Kali Yuga means total darkness, but there's a Vedic question of philosophy. We just have to put it down, put it out there. Somebody is waiting for it. That's the point. Not everybody is totally brainwashed. Many, many people are waking up to the fact that the so-called elite are totally corrupt, and their way of thinking and everything else is utterly false, nonsense, and they're waiting for the alternative. And we're the only ones who can give it.
It's very optimistic, beautiful, like...
I'm idealist. What can I do?
Fortunately.
Idealists are optimistic, head in the clouds. So they have to get together with people whose feet are on the ground. Idealists are cooperative, abstract. But cooperative, abstract people are not going to get things together by themselves. So we need cooperative, concrete people also. And then we need individualists, abstract, concrete, and everybody works together. That's necessary. No one person can do it.
Can you say something about rational intelligence, emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence.
Rational intelligence, emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence. Modern psychologists, they measure IQ. So if you've got an IQ of 100, then you're kind of average. More than 100, more than average, less than average. That they measure from a detached point of view. They're measuring your psychological abilities from a detached point of view, and they're measuring your ability to manipulate the mind also from a detached point of view. So it's valuable to some extent, but it doesn't mean to say that you're a whole human being. Just like, what's his face? Yuval Harari? I don't doubt he's got a very high rational IQ, but his emotional IQ is like
Zero.
somewhere down there. So emotional means that somebody is emotionally mature. They can interact with themselves in a whole way, and they can interact with other people as well. But still, we need spiritual intelligence. And spiritual intelligence means that I am an individual. And the basis of everything is a supreme individual, a spiritual individual. And we have a relationship. And everything is coming from that supreme individual. And we should relate with each other, relate with ourselves, relate with each other within that context. That's spiritual intelligence. And that we can develop, especially through bhakti. So, those who are advanced in bhakti, they can help, like consultants, they help companies. They're not part of the company, but they help from their own particular motivation. So Vaishnavas, they can help society, just like Thakur Bhaktivinoda, you're reading Shankar. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is describing the Vaishnavas. They're in there, like for example in Nandi. And they can advise people who come to them. So that's the idea. But these things have to be integrated. If you've got a very complex task, you need somebody with a rational intelligence to do it. But then we also need we also need emotional intelligence. Ultimately, we need spiritual intelligence. Brahmanas, they have spiritual intelligence, but they may not be able to. It may be that they can't help to direct society. So the ultimate spiritual intelligence is just like Srila Prabhupada. He's writing his books, and he's saying, I am writing, whatever I do, whatever I think, and whatever I write, I'm thinking I'm doing this for the next 2,000 years. That's integrating everything. Even he himself, he said, he said, one may be personally a fool, but I have no difficulty in being the greatest scientist because I accept the version of Krishna and he's the greatest scientist. So even one's a fool, but still by accepting Krishna's version, he can defeat Dawkins and Noah Harari and all these others. So he's an.
We say that prema is the highest, Krishna prema. Then we go down and we say that empathy, kindness, forgiveness, they are qualities to take you towards prema. But in the materialistic viewpoint, empathy is just some kind of silliness.
There's Sanghasila Bhakti. Sanghasila. Empathy, humility, forgiveness, all these. These are good qualities. Without bhakti, they're worthless. But when a bhakta has these qualities, then they're very useful. We see in our Srila Bhakti Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Srila Goswami Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, our Gurudev, they're full of humility, and it's very deep and meaningful. They deal in a beautiful, loving, humble way with younger devotees even. It's like Srila Bharati Maharaj, he described, he made a rack in the Calcutta mud, he made a rack for shoes.
A what?
Rack for shoes for all the devotees. So one very senior devotee, disciple of Srila Saraswati Prabhupada. So late at night, one friend of Srila Bharati Maharaj said, "Come, see." So they went, they're peeking around the corner, and there's this senior disciple of Saraswati Prabhupada who's worshipping the shoes of all the devotees in the mud. This is humility, it's beautiful. So when it's in a devotee, then it's meaningful. But otherwise, a humble atheist, ultimately it's of no value. It's just going to disappear like a cloud in the sky. I thought we were all going to talk.
I'm still asking questions.
All right,
You don't want you to talk. But Maharaj, what you would like to say?
Maharaj can speak because we don't get Maharaj always, so I don't give.
It is true, he's going to be back in England very soon. I always liked your practical approach to explaining things. Mana Ashram and Dharma seems to be kind of lost in this world today. What do you think about that?
People are. Varnashram, an ideal society looks after its members. Its members. And then the members want to be in the society, and the society needs the members. So any effective organization has four main functions: education, leadership, resource management, and support work. These four. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So how are they going to help the members? You can have a dictatorship where you force everybody to work according to their capability. That's just dictatorship. But actual educators, they help people to find the meaning of life. They help people to get the skills that they need for living, and they help people to find their meaning of life, ultimately spiritual fulfillment. So they're happy, contented. Real leaders. We need peace in society. So peace comes from values. So real, like Kshatriyas, like the Pandavas, for example, they have very, very high values. And the idea of Kshatriyas is they govern society in terms of values. We read in Srimad Bhagavatam so many examples. And they ensure that everybody was living according to those values. So Parikshit Maharaj, when he heard that Kali Maharaj was beating Dharma, the bull, he was going to kill him. And then, but then people also need to be successful. So resource managers, expert resource managers, they engage people according to their particular talent and capability. And that modern research shows that a successful organization, the key is middle managers who select people according to their talent, engage people according to their talent, motivate them to continue according to their talent. And then support people working in teams, whether it's families or work teams or whatever. So this is dynamic. Belonging as an individual, belonging as a valued individual. So when we're working in really effective teams, we get that sense that I'm part of something that values me, not just as a worker, but as a person. And I'm contributing to something amazing. So we get, starting from the bottom, we get, Varnashram helps people to find loving relationship, success, abundance, peace and peace of mind, and meaning and ultimately spiritual fulfillment. So it's like you've got 4 social functions, 4 human needs, and they fit together, they support each other. And then you've got the thumbs. So we need to be attached, we need to be connected with the divine, with the supreme, with Krishna. On the one hand, that's our need. And then on the other hand, you have devotees, Vaishnavas, who can actually guide society in that way. So you've got, it's like, works out like that. One national society is like 2 hands long, right? Briefly, that's what I think.
So, Srila Prabhupada, wanted to re-establish Varnashrama Dharma. Do you think it's still valid? It's possible?
No, he said himself, you can't establish a modern
As I
society.
said.
You can't. But we can take the basic principles of Varnashram, and we can establish groups working according to those principles, and then gradually that can expand into society. There needs to be some working functional model. Unfortunately, in the Vaishnava community at the moment, the spirit of cooperation is not very strong. That's the difficulty. But you can't impose. It's not possible to impose Varnashram because Varnashram depends on qualified Brahmanas and qualified Kshatriyas, and we don't have that. But small groups, we can start to develop, and then gradually those principles we can spread them. That's this program, educational program, leaders of well-being. That's the principle there. You train up a few leaders. They should have their own projects. They organize their projects according to those principles, and then train up their own next.
But it's more Brahminical education than Varnashrama education, right? Because we are lacking Kshatriyas and
Varnashram, it depends on Brahmins and Kshatriyas. So first off, we have to produce people who understand the whole system. If we try and Brahmins, not only Brahmins, Vaishnavas actually. I don't know whether those who worship God but don't worship necessarily Krishna, whether they can fulfill the role, I don't know. We'll see.
Then in Varnashram, and Prabhupada wanted to establish Daigi Varnashram.
Yeah. Daigi Varnashram means on the basis of Krishna rather than, because Varnashram by itself, it will degrade into caste system.
Yeah.
I reckon that devotees, as far as Varna Ashrama practical application is concerned, that the greater majority, they get very confused and sidetracked away from bhakti as soon as they have to get to do with money, lots of money, managing money. Basically, that's more and more destructive than helpful. And Varna Ashrama, without any money, then you cannot develop very highly either.
Nishta. We need devotees who attain Nishta at least. Nishta, and also those who are actually faithful to the instructions of our acharyas. Thakur Bhakti Vinod, he wrote a letter, maybe the last letter too, it starts to be proud. So he said you have to establish Daigi Varnashram. Those instructions. And my Guru Maharaj, our Prabhupada, 1977, why did he want to go to America to establish Varnashram? He got as far as London, and then he had to turn back. But that was his intention. He emphasized Varnashram and scientific preaching, those 2 programs at the end. Neither of those is pure bhakti by themselves, neither. But they're both necessary as a basis for a society that will support Krishna consciousness.
so what you said Varnashrama can degrade to caste system very easily. So can we see that in ancient Vedic times?
Yes, it did. What we see now is Varnashram. The invaders could easily conquer India because the Varnashram system had degraded. Kshatriyas, the lower powerful Kshatriyas, because the Vaishnava foundation was lost. We can see ideal Daidi Varnashram in Srimad Bhagavatam. And it was dominated by, by the Brahmanas and Mahajans. So Mahajans there, Vaishnava. So it requires like an upsurge of bhakti. So we have powerful devotees who can act as consultants to direct the rest of society. Just like, for example, Chanakya Pandit, not that he's a devotee, but he was, they brought him in from outside. He was angry with the invaders from outside. He established Chandragupta as a king of an extensive area, and then he went back towards his pupils again. He had no interest at all. So Vaishnavas also. That spirit was there. Who's that? Demosthenes, Demosthenes, I think. Yeah. Alexander the Great came to see him. He was living in a barrel. And Alexander the Great was just,
Diogenes.
yeah. He said, "Is there something I can do for you?" He said, "Yeah, just move. You're in the way of the sun. You're blocking the sunlight." That's all. Sanatana Goswami, Emperor Akbar came. And he said, "I want to serve you." Sanatana Goswami, "Yeah, there's a crack in Keshigat. You could mend that if you like." Excuse me, I'm the emperor. I can build temples. Sanatana Goswami said, "You go to Keshigat, you see." So he went by Sanatana Goswami's mercy. He got darshan of the actual Swarup of Keshigat. Pearl, jewel, gold, everything. He saw so many jewels, every single one of them was more valuable than his whole treasury. And Sanatana Goswami is in so much wealth, so much abundance. And he's having no interest living on the street, rolling double balls, putting him in the fire, not even any salt. So that, like we've seen generations of amazing